Hey everyone, before we dive into this story, please consider subscribing to my channel for more exciting content like this. At the far edge of the Westfield estate, my solitary seat at my nephew's wedding reception stood out, surrounded by lavish floral displays and cascading champagne fountains. Table 18, set for one, had an empty chair beside me that seemed to demand attention. From my secluded spot, I could just make out the head table where my nephew Marcus and his bride Penelope celebrated among their vibrant, accomplished, impeccably matched friends. "We reserved a seat for you, Uncle Daniel," Marcus had mentioned yesterday, his tone tinged with subtle sympathy. "No need to bring a date. We get it, you're still searching." Still searching. At 41, single, I was the family's cautionary tale, a successful professional who'd traded personal joy for career triumphs. What they didn't know, bound by a confidentiality agreement until the engagement announcement next week, was that I'd been in a devoted relationship with Crown Princess Isabella of Denmark for 18 months. Third in line to the throne, a globally admired humanitarian, and the woman I'd asked to marry me 3 months ago on a secluded Maldives beach. Just some consulting gigs in Europe, my brother Michael had casually told Penelope's affluent family at the rehearsal dinner. Always on the move, never puts down roots. Work obsessed, you know the type. My consulting role was actually as a senior advisor to the European Commission on Economic Development, a job that had me based in Copenhagen, collaborating closely with Scandinavian officials. That's how I met Isabella at a policy summit 2 years ago. My phone vibrated, Isabella's private line. I slipped out to the quiet terrace, escaping the reception's clamor and the pitying looks from paired-up relatives. "Sensen," I answered in Danish, now second nature. "Daniel, my love, we're 10 minutes away." Isabella's voice carried a playful warmth. "Henrik's checking if the security sweep's done." "All clear," I replied. The venue manager nearly passed out when I flashed the royal credentials yesterday. I grinned despite the tension inside. "You sure about this? We could wait for the official reveal." "No way," she said firmly. "You've told me how they see you. It's time they know who you are. I'm done hiding. Let them see. The press will go wild." "Good. We're going public next week anyway. This will just be unforgettable." I could hear her smile. "See you soon, Minelskid." Back at table 18, as servers cleared the main course, I sat alone. No table mates, often overlooked by the staff. From my corner, I watched Marcus' flawless wedding play out, a spectacle that seemed crafted to underscore everything I supposedly lacked. The toast began. Penelope's father spoke of thriving young couples. Marcus' best man shared tales of finding true love early. Then my brother Michael stood, glass raised, his face warm with champagne and emotion. "I want to honor my brother Daniel," he declared, his voice echoing. "Still out there, chasing love at 41. Still hopeful his match is out there somewhere." Polite chuckles spread through the crowd. Heads turned toward my lone table. The empty chair, the solitary uncle in his tailored suit. "We all wish Daniel finds what Marcus and Penelope have," Michael went on, unaware of my expression. "That one day he'll pause his career chase to build a true life, find real joy, and settle down." Then, the faint hum of helicopter rotors interrupted. I glanced at my watch, right on schedule. Michael faltered, puzzled by the growing noise. Guests craned their necks, searching for the source. Through the terrace windows, I saw it. The unmistakable royal helicopter bearing the Danish coat of arms, flanked by 2 security crafts. The venue manager, Thomas, appeared beside me, pale. "Mr. Sorensen, the security team requests access to position themselves." "Let them in," I said calmly. She asked for minimal fuss. My sister-in-law Catherine overheard, her face a mix of confusion. The Royal Danish Protection Unit entered first, discreet, elite, moving with precision to secure the perimeter as guests watched in stunned silence. Then Crown Princess Isabella stepped into the doorway. At 36, she was striking in a tailored dress, effortlessly blending elegance and regality. Her presence drew every eye, not from arrogance but from a lifetime of poised grace. Scandinavia's most photographed woman, celebrated for her humanitarian work and modern royal approach, looked straight at me, amusement dancing in her eyes. "Daniel," her voice rang out, her Danish accent lending a melodic lilt. "Sorry I'm late, darling." The UN delegation meeting ran long. Every head swiveled between the princess and my solitary table. She crossed the ballroom with confident steps, her security detail keeping a professional distance. She passed the head table, where Marcus' jaw dropped, past Michael's table, where he turned ghostly pale, past the young, perfect couples, straight to table 18. She kissed me, not theatrical, but with the natural ease of a deep bond. "Miss me," I said, rising to embrace her. "How was the flight?" "Rough over the North Sea, but worth it for this." She glanced at the isolated table, the empty chair the lonely uncle set up. Curious seating choice for a senior economic advisor. In Copenhagen, you're usually placed with ministers and diplomats. The ballroom fell silent. Penelope's father, a corporate titan who'd been pitching business deals earlier, stood, recognition dawning. "You didn't have to come," I said, sticking to our plan. "Miss your nephew's wedding?" "Never," she teased. "Plus, we need to finalize our announcement." She showed me her phone, a draft of the official royal statement stamped with the Danish seal. The Royal House of Denmark is delighted to announce the engagement of Her Royal Highness Crown Princess Isabella to Mr. Daniel Sorensen. Marcus approached from the head table, Penelope trailing, both looking dazed. "Uncle Daniel, you never said you were dating, that you knew. You never asked about my life," I said evenly. "You assumed, since I travel for work and skip family events, I must be lonely. We should have been told." Penelope's mother cut in, flustered. "If we'd known royalty was coming." "I'm not here as royalty," Isabella said smoothly, her English flawless with a Danish charm. "I'm here as Daniel's fiancée, to support him at his nephew's wedding." She paused, pointedly. "I came to meet the family who decided he belonged alone at a table with an empty chair." Thomas reappeared, scrambling to add seating. "Your Royal Highness, we weren't informed." "We have better tables. I'll sit with Daniel," Isabella said firmly, taking the empty chair. "Though perhaps you could serve actual French champagne. This one's a bit lackluster." Michael, abandoning his toast, approached bewildered. "Daniel, you never mentioned anything." "You let us think you assumed," I corrected. "You assumed, because I work in Europe and keep my life private, I must be alone. You made jokes about my single status without asking if I was single." Catherine joined us, her face shifting from shock to shame. "If we'd known you were engaged, that you were with—" "That's the issue," Isabella interjected, her tone kind but firm. "Daniel's value shouldn't hinge on who he's with. His career is remarkable. He's shaped economic policies, impacting millions. He's earned honors from 3 heads of state. But you overlooked that because he didn't fit your timeline for relationships." Marcus' best man, still holding his champagne glass mid-toast, stood frozen, unsure whether to continue. Phones emerged across the ballroom. Isabella at a Virginia wedding was already trending worldwide. Royal reporters were scrambling. Marcus' polished society wedding was now global news. A business journalist, Marcus' college roommate, typed furiously, sensing a major scoop. "When were you going to tell us?" Michael asked, voice tight. "Monday's the formal announcement," I said. "We've been engaged 3 months, living together in Copenhagen for over a year, dating for 18 months. But you never visited, never asked about my life abroad. You just made jokes about the lonely uncle." My parents pushed through, looking shaken. "Daniel, we had no idea," Mom said. "You should have told us." "I tried," I said. "You brushed it off or made jokes. You stopped asking about my life, assuming it'd disappoint you." Isabella stood, her presence commanding. "Daniel Sorensen is one of the sharpest economic minds I've worked with. His policies have shaped Danish-EU relations and trade agreements affecting millions. He's respected by ministers, ambassadors, and economists across Europe." She turned to Michael, her tone measured but sharp. "Your brother helped stabilize 3 countries during financial crises, but that's less important to you than him settling down on your schedule." Michael flushed. "We didn't know." "He never said he couldn't," Isabella corrected. "His work involves confidential negotiations, and we chose to keep our relationship private until the announcement. Privacy isn't loneliness. He's never been searching. He found exactly what he wanted." She took my hand, her engagement ring, a perfect diamond framed by Danish sapphires, gleaming. Cameras flashed. Someone gasped. Penelope looked faint. The security team maintained a discreet perimeter, but their presence shifted the event into a royal spectacle. Catherine tried to recover. We're hosting a family gathering next month. You're both welcome to celebrate properly. We'll check our schedules, Isabella said diplomatically. But Daniel and I are quite busy. Engagement announcement Monday, Copenhagen reception next month, a UK state visit, then my Paris charity gala. Mom's face showed growing realization of how deeply she'd misjudged me. A bridesmaid approached nervously. Your Royal Highness, I admire your humanitarian work. I had no idea you were engaged. We waited for the right moment, Isabella said warmly. Though this wasn't quite how the palace planned to share the news. She texted quickly. I should warn Henrik before he sees this trending. The royal communications team will have a lively night. Thomas had moved us to a prime table near the windows, but everyone had seen my original spot. The wedding footage, already viral, captured the lonely uncle's table before Isabella's entrance. Marcus approached, looking young and unsure. Uncle Daniel, I'm sorry. I thought I was being kind, saying you were still looking. You didn't ask, I said. You assumed, based on little information and your own idea of success, that anyone over 40 and single must be lonely. I was wrong, he said softly. Penelope joined, her perfect wedding facade cracking. We'd have seated you differently, included you. You'd have treated me differently because of who I'm with, I said gently, not who I am. That's the point. Isabella checked her watch. We should head out. Early flight to Copenhagen tomorrow. Parliament meeting on the education initiative. I nodded, then faced my family. Congratulations, Marcus and Penelope. I truly wish you joy. But I'm done being pitted, done being seen as less because I keep my life private. Respect my choices, or we keep our distance. As we left, Isabella, me, and the Royal Danish Protection Unit guests parted. Penelope's father tried to network. Her mother attempted charity talk with Isabella. Michael reached out, but I kept moving. Outside, the helicopter waited on the lawn, to the gardener's dismay. Isabella's assistant managed logistics with practiced ease. Too dramatic? Isabella asked as we crossed the grass. Just right, I said. Thanks for coming. Thanks for letting me crash a family event. The press will love this. Royal engagement revealed at a wedding is already trending globally. My phone buzzed with news alerts, Copenhagen colleagues' amused messages, and frenzied tabloids. By morning, every outlet would cover it. Marcus called, I declined. Mom texted, please come back. We're so proud. I muted my phone. The European Commission requested a congratulatory call. 3 ambassadors sent formal notes. My Copenhagen team was managing media inquiries. Monday's Financial Times is profiling your economic work, Isabella said as we boarded the helicopter. Apparently, being engaged to a princess makes you newsworthy. I smiled. I've been newsworthy in policy circles for years. They just didn't care without royal gossip. Now you're both policy expert and royal fiancé. The headlines write themselves. As the helicopter rose, I looked down at the Westfield estate, the glowing ballroom where Marcus' wedding became a lesson in assumptions. At the corner table where they'd placed the lonely uncle. At the family who never asked about the life I'd built. The empty chair was below, the woman I loved beside me. I'd never been lonely. I'd been living fully in Copenhagen, loving an extraordinary woman, doing work that shaped millions of lives. They just never asked. The lonely uncle was their fiction. The real Daniel Sorensen had been thriving all along. They simply hadn't looked.